I'm sometimes asked why in the ESV and the NIV we didn't capitalize the divine pronouns out of respect. Divine pronouns means that the pronoun's referring to God. So if you have the pronoun he and it's referring to a disciple, we leave it lowercase. But if it's referring to God, we uppercase it. Well, I think there's at least four good reasons why we don't uppercase, capitalize divine pronouns. The first is that the Greek and the Hebrew didn't. Okay, Greek letters are the original ones would all have been capital letters. The lowercase Greek letters didn't come around until it's good time after the first century. And Hebrew letters are all kind of the same blockish shape. They don't distinguish upper and lower case. So the minute you start capitalizing pronouns, what you're doing is not following the Greek and the Hebrew, but you are adding a layer of interpretation into your translation. And most translators don't want to add yet another layer of interpretation. All translations are interpretive, but most of us want to keep that to a minimum. And so this is one way in which we don't have to be overly interpretive. The second reason is that this whole idea of capitalizing divine pronouns is a relatively modern invention. King James didn't capitalize them, the ASV in 1901 didn't capitalize them, the RSV in the 1950s didn't capitalize them. As far as I can tell, the first translation that did was the NASB, and then the New King James version as well capitalize them. But so you don't have a consistent capitalizing these things. You don't have a real history of doing it. So why do them? Thirdly, none of the style sheets agree that we should do that. Now, we don't let Turabian and the Chicago Manual Style tell us what to do, but it is relatively important to have uniform style when writing English, and so the style sheets don't say to do it. But fourthly, and maybe this is the most important, and that is, why do we think that capitalizing them is a sign of respect? Why not italicize them? Why not bold them? Why not put them in all caps? Why not put them in red ink? Why not do all of those things? I mean, if typographically you want to show respect to God, then why not really show respect to God? There's nothing inherent in a capital letter, the he or the you, that signals respect. Okay, so there's not that. Style sheets don't agree. It's been a relatively recent and sporadic and invention, and it doesn't follow the Greek and the Hebrew. It is interesting that the Holman Christian, the first version of that, did capitalize these, but that the Christian Standard Bible, the revision that happened a couple of years ago, doesn't capitalize the divine pronouns. So check out my blog at billmounts.com.